Hey, what's up, guys? Josh with 6 Up Tabletop. I'm getting to do a fun video today. Be a fun experiment on my half. I was contacted by HaT Industries or HaT Models. These are one of the box covers for some of the other stuff. But yeah, that's the brand right there. And so they are typically known for soft plastics, 172 scale figures. And to be honest, I haven't painted any figures from any of their catalogs, any of the scales. So I was contacted to see if I was interested in testing out painting up some of their new to release American War of Independence 28 millimeter hard plastic figure. So I said, yeah, absolutely, that would be awesome. So here I am today. I got 3 different sprues of a couple different kits that they make. This was provided to them by them to me for free, and I'm not getting paid or anything, but it's nice that they were able to send some free sprues, and I'm just gonna paint them up, do a review, give some feedback, and kind of see how they compare to other 28 millimeter figures in this range. So without further ado, let's get into it. Alright, so this is the first. This would be American War of Independence American Infantry Set 1. It comes with 10 figures, and just to start off with, I could definitely see that it is, harder plastic, thicker. Just off the bat, it's pretty clear to see that there's going to be a lot of flashing work that needs to be done. You can even see some of the thin plastic here. I'm not sure if this is the final sprue that they would ship out in the box or not. So for sure there's going to be a lot of cleanup that will need to be done. It's a little bit hard to see on camera, but yeah, this will be American colonials and marching, a couple different poses. One of those bayonets is broken off here, so that's not ideal. But to be fair, one of the things I typically do with my colonial infantry at the beginning of the American Revolution is to remove some of the bayonets anyway. Moving on to the 2004 sprue. This is just the set 2. More poses in here. More poses is always good. I like that. This guy added some powder, reloading, aiming, holding and bracing his musket. There's different uniforms, more casual uniforms, and more formal. There's like a hunting uniform right there. So yes, this is the 2004 sprue, and it is coming in at 10 models, as you can see here. Plus side, and maybe a little bit of the downside, is that it is all one model. So it's nice in the sense that I just need the clip, do a little bit of cleanup, and that it is all good to go. But from the looks of it, the details do appear to be a little bit softer. And just from manufacturing, it would appear that is somewhat as a result of not having independent arms and heads, so maybe some of the details lost there for the mold. Alright, and then we have the 2005 sprue American Infantry Command. A nice little sprue here. You have the pontoon spear-like thing. Got an officer here with his sword, a drummer, repeats at the top. There's a flag carrier, and now we'll see later, but it appears that the pole for carrying the flag is not that large compared to some of the other mini manufacturers. So I'll have to figure out something I want to do with that flag, where the other flags that I typically order or use from other kits probably would not fit on this pole. So I can always trim it, add a different I can use some wire, copper copper wire or something, or I can figure out a different trick. So we'll see what I do with that. And comes with a nice officer on horse. So yeah, overall, looks like I'm gonna have to do some pretty heavy cleaning on these guys. It is nice, I won't have to assemble anything, just have to clean it up and then give it a paint job, and then I will compare it to other figures from other lines and see how it stacks up. Thanks. Okay, jumping into the painting models. It is nice to note that the models do come in just one piece on the sprue, so that it is a positive going into that. This is the American Infantry Set 1, mixed with a little bit of the Command sprue, so let's jump in. So I typically do my bases in 4 models, and for an average size, for the table size I have, I'll be around 4 soldiers per base. So this is a combination of the bases I did for the first unit. A couple things to look at here. Some of my favorite figures is probably this pose with the man holding with his rifle straight up and down. I think the quality, the detail on this pose, even as it comes off the sprue, is pretty well made and constructed. And I was very happy with that. I'll compare these later to some other American War of Independence figures I have, but all around pretty happy with this. Painted these guys in more of a formal Boston 2nd Regiment. The colors that are commonly attributed to American War of Independence. As this is a review, I wanted to touch a little bit on, here's another figure with the up and down gun. I think this one, I clipped the bayonet off. I think it turned out great. I mean, it's going to look awesome on the table. There were some that I was not as big of a fan of. For this guy, the sprue itself, there's no gap between the rifle and his arm, so this is just one big chunk of plastic. You can see on the bottom, this is just one big blob. So I guess if feedback would be that that is definitely not preferred for 28 millimeters. It definitely takes away some of the detail that can be offered at that size, I guess. And also the face was missing a little bit of detail there too. So that's why you can see it doesn't look quite as defined and painted as well as the other one, because the detail of the face was a little soft. So there's a couple other sculpts that I was not the biggest fan of. But as you can see, if you put some work into it, it's definitely doable. Like I said, I think overall they're gonna look great on the table. I think these figures excel at being seen on the table, being played, feet away. If I was considering trying to do like a up close diorama where the figures is like the sole purpose of the video and such, or like my project, some of these figures are a little soft on the detail based on what I'm used to. But yeah, here we go. This is the first squad. This is the custom flag that I made. The red and white just representing the 13 colonies. It's a pretty common rebellion flag. This is another sculpt I kind of wanted to provide some feedback on. Man, this guy's arm is like, he's got like super long left arm, where it doesn't make sense in proportion to the other figures why his arm would be stretched so long. Seems like that, might come in with a limitation of the sprue and how it's made. Yeah, that's just the feedback on that. This is another duplicate of the mass of plastic in the middle. and similar quality, not as detailed in the face. But there's multiple poses. I like that they included some like formal coats as well as some hunting gear. I think a lot of it goes into what you can do with the bases, and just adding some logs and such goes a long way for me. So this is the set 1 mixed in with some of the command that came on that sprue. And like I said, I think some of the details are a little bit soft. I'm very happy with the figures with the rifles standing up and down. Some of the more action figures lacks some of the detail, but let's take a look at the second set of figures. Okay, jumping into the second set of figures. This was the commands, the leftovers of the command sprue that I was provided. So this is the spittoon, the drummer, and the flag bearer, and then it comes with one guy on horse. So I just put him on the base, and this is a base of 3. And for the second set, so these are a little bit different poses. They're more guys shooting. This I did. I painted it a little bit less formal in terms of the uniform, and even just more of like the paint job that I did, other than the little command base in the middle. Take a look here. Quality on these guys are pretty good. As you can see, I did a lot less in terms of cuffs on these models. Pretty much painted these all similar to how I just painted my other American Infantry. Just as this guy on the right here, the camera can focus just the softness of the plastic after cleaning it up. It's not a very hard, detailed face. It's not very easy to paint if I was trying to paint in all the details of the face. So I just made the decision that I am going to have some of the details on some of the models that have a lot of detail on the face, and then for the ones that don't, I'm just going to make it a little bit blurry, maybe have some eyes, but I'm not going to try to put detail where it doesn't make sense to have it. This is just a Liberty flag that I made. Nothing too crazy. I thought overall the horse and rider were fun to paint. I thought they turned out pretty good. I think they fit pretty well with other American War of Independence command figures. This is another base. Once again, similar feedback here on the. Just overall, it's a softer quality. I think it's, but I like that I can mix up the uniforms as opposed to I did with the first set of infantry, and have these guys have a little bit more of a militia feel, which is important for me in doing Bunker Hill as my first, big project. And then this one I did another 3 models on the base. I think a good mix of colors. There's the details are there. Once again, similar feedback to what I said about the other sprue. It all looks good from feet away, up close. Some of the detail is not quite there compared to some of the other manufacturers. But overall, relatively happy with the product. An awesome experience. Thank you to HaT Miniatures for sending these out just for me to try and introduce people who might be interested in them. Next, I'm going to do a little short comparison with some of the other manufacturers that I've worked with, just to look at scale and just compare some details. So let's jump into that quickly.
And just to compare some of the figures here, this is just to provide some scale for Twin War Games, Atlantic, Warlord Games, HaT Miniatures, Perry, and then Brigade Games. As you can see, I think there's some different quality in terms of definition. Some are metal, some are plastics. But in terms of size, in comparison, I think the HaT miniatures fit very nicely within the scale of the other figures that I've painted. I did clip off their little bases so that I just glued the feet onto the actual bases that I made, and I think they fit pretty well in scale with all the other figures. So this is Joshua 6 Up Tabletop. Once again, shout out to HaT for providing some of the figures for me to test for their products. And I look forward to making more American War of Independence videos in the future. Hopefully, you guys got something out of that, and we'll see you in the next one. Thanks.